Raider Nation, what is going on? Coming to you guys with episode 113. Member of the Blue Wire Podcasting Network, the official podcast at RaidersBeat.com. Make sure you guys following up with RaidersBeat.com. That's where all the latest news and analysis is happening on your Las Vegas Raiders. Now, a big win in Cleveland, baby. The 5-2 Browns fall to 5-3 to our Las Vegas Raiders. Coming on a bounce back, a borderline, if not all the way, full-blown must-win game if you want to be a playoff team this year. What is going on? Shout out to the chat. If you're listening to the post-produced podcast, shout out. I love you guys. Also, shout out to the live chat here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Amazing. I see you guys in there all pumped up, just like me. Man, this feels good, huh? Big freaking win. I'll tell you, coming into this thing, as usual, underdogs. Going into Cleveland, cold weather, there's snow, there's wind, there's all this stuff going on, and the Raiders pull out the big W. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Way to go, Booker. Yeah, just win, baby. There we go. Let's go, Joyner. We're going to get into this game breakdown right now. What's going on, Cody? Our defense stepped up this game. But I get to see Paul Gunther as these dudes out of position. Hey, we'll get into it, man. Honestly, whenever it comes down to it, the Cleveland Browns scored 6 points, so I'm not going to get too hard on everything going on. What repairs everything, guys? We know this. We know this as fans, as fanatics, as the crazy, nutso, passionate fan base that we are. Winning cures everything. So, yeah, guess what? We're cured right now. Feels good. Get a W. Go to 4-3. We're in the playoffs. If the season stopped now, we're in the playoffs. And now we're going into a streak of division rivals. We're going to play the Chargers in LA. We're going to play the Broncos in Las Vegas, and then we're going to play the Chiefs in Las Vegas. So we got all three of our division rivals coming up, and it's going to be interesting. So, like I said, winning cures it all. And I'm feeling pretty good right now, Raider Nation. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling pretty good right now. So, let's go. I'm nothing without you. Let's go. Raider Nation, I hope you guys are fired up. Let's quit messing around, man. Let's get into this game breakdown. First quarter, we come out, man, and we're having a nice drive. We're moving the ball down the field, kind of like we do every game. Like there's a little sputter that we had throughout, early in the season. And to be honest, this last game, or should I say the last couple games, were really similar. The last one we scored a touchdown. This last one was stopped on a drop by Darren Waller. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. There was heavy wind. There was some deep balls there early in the game. Whatever. Okay, we're gonna let those fly. We're gonna let those fly, right? So obviously we had a pretty promising drive coming out, and we fell short. Kick a field goal. We go up 3-0. Hey, if we could put points on the board first drive, I don't care what it is. We always want touchdowns, but if it's that, cool. Like, let's take it. The weather was probably some of the best it was the entire game. So if we could put points on the board, let's put points on the board. The Cleveland Browns get the ball, right? And the defense, I'm thinking like, dude, we're missing tackles. We're like over aggressive. We had 2 offsides penalties. I'm thinking, dude, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? And then we force a fumble. And I'm like, sorry for ever doubting you. Shout out to Nick Kwiatkowski. I do my lights out player of the game every episode now, every post game. I do a lights out player of the game. And early on in the game, I was thinking in the back of my head, depending on how this game finishes out, if someone doesn't outplay him, Nick Kwiatkowski is going to be the lights out player of the game. And that's how we started that game off. Obviously, the forced fumble, just being around everything, just the disruption. He's kind of the glue to this defense, and he's been playing great. So we get the ball back, and we didn't do anything with it. We took one good shot down the field, and I would say, yeah, it was definitely the wind. That overthrow was definitely the wind, carried the ball it was just sailing. Threw it up there. The only thing I think I would have said was, you sail the ball up there, yeah, it's gonna take off. I think the only way we're going to hit a wide receiver deep down the field was the same way that Derek connected with all of his receivers this game, and that's with a line drive dart right to the receiver. You can't let the wind get a hold of that ball. But it is what it is. I mean, it happens. In a windy game, you're going to have a couple throws get away from you. tell that to the commentators, I guess. We'll talk about that later. We're saving that one actually for real talk. So Kenny King, if you're listening right now, we're talking about these Fox commentators later in the show. So we go off with a 3 and out. It is what it is. Cleveland gets the ball. There's like a 3rd down offsides penalty. The Browns march down the field. That was like, it led to the end of the first quarter, open up the second, they end up kicking a field goal. I would say like that entire first quarter, it's kind of what we've seen all season. It's like a 2-man defense. Trayvon Mullen, I didn't hear Trayvon Mullen's name called all game, which is exactly what we need him to do. Unless he's turning the ball over, that's the only time I want to hear his name called. So he did his job. Yes, Henry Ruggs III got robbed. I see in there. That was 5'10". Shout out to you, 5'10". Met you at a tailgate last year. So as long as his name's not getting called, he's doing his job. But I still feel like it was like a 2-man defense out there. You have Jonathan Abram, who's running all around the field. Really, I mean, just headhunting. I love Jonathan Abram, dude. He's just like a Raider. I was a little weird about the long sleeves. Like he's out there on the field wearing sleeves like me, except he's like taking dudes' heads off. I'm over here making like cheese plates and, trying to just watch a football game in peace with 2 kids. But him and Nick Kwiatkowski were the only ticking pieces, the only guys that you could see out there making plays, making big hits, tackles, trying to force turnovers in the first quarter, right? So, of course, they open up the second quarter. They kick a field goal. Is what it is. So, oh, you know what? I'm wrong. We missed a field goal. We missed our field goal opening up. How did I forget that? Oh, yeah, because the wind. Gosh dang, man. That was crazy because the dude kicked it straight to the right upright. And that thing hooked so hardcore. I mean, you could see the ball take off this way. Boom. You're just like, whoa. Like this guy's obviously fighting the wind. And it immediately stopped and it sailed over and dink off the upright. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, so they go up 3-0. They go up. We're down. Okay. So we get the ball back. We realize maybe we can't throw it as much. We had that missed connection with Henry Ruggs. So Josh Jacobs starts to get a little hot. Josh Jacobs gets the ball in his hands a few times. He's running pretty well. Then that was the drive with the Henry Ruggs touchdown. Shout out to the chat. I want to know your guys' thoughts. Drop in the chat what you guys think of the Henry Ruggs touchdown that was not called back, but it stood. And I swear, I mean, there was a slice of green. There was a slice of green, not a slice of blue like we're familiar with, but a slice of green. I don't see how in any way that wasn't ruled a touchdown. I'm sorry. That's a touchdown. But it was so close, and I get it a little bit. I get it. I'm only saying this because we won. But I get it. Had it been ruled a touchdown, I think it stays a touchdown. Because it was ruled incomplete, it just wasn't enough to turn the call over. But you know what? Robbed. Got robbed. The Ruggs robbery. Hashtag Ruggs robbery. Let's get that trending. Ruggs robbery. It's a tongue twister right there. Anyways, we settle for the field goal. 3-3. Cleveland gets the ball back. Defense shows up. 3 and out. These 3 and outs are amazing. We had some key 3 and outs. Vegas gets the ball back. They move down the field. No timeouts and big runs. We get down there. We kick a field goal. Okay, so we're up 6-3 at halftime. Feeling good. Feeling pretty good at halftime. Sloppy game. Very sloppy game. Towards the end, after halftime, the weather cleared up, but it was a very sloppy game. The weather was ugly, especially at the end of the first half. It was terrible. High winds. It's raining. It's borderline snowing. What is going on, right? So I would say, though, like, it's something that I'm really happy with for this Raiders football team because they played good, hard-nosed football, late in the second quarter. We were making stops. We were shutting down their offense. We were able to transition. John Gruden was able to get the ball into Josh Jacobs' hands. Devontae Booker, it doesn't matter who it was, he was able to make it happen, play some good, hard-nosed, ground and pound football. And we had a lead. It was a sloppy game, sloppy weather conditions. A 6-3 lead is a lead. It doesn't even matter at that point because you know how the rest of the game's going to go. Third quarter opens up. The Browns come out. I would say they kind of flipped a switch. It was an offense that we didn't see all game. They come out, they had a couple big catches. There was that Jarvis Landry touchdown catch. And that touchdown catch, no, it was not a touchdown catch, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's not try and call even with Henry Ruggs. It was not even at all. But that obviously made them settle for a field goal. So they went up and they tied it 6-6. And it was clear. No argument made. Jarvis Landry, obviously, the ball hit the ground, didn't have possession, whatever, 6-6. Don't want to hear any complaining. And this is where the Raiders won the football game. It's 6-6. The Raiders get the football. They have a great drive. The weather's better. Don't get me wrong. But we still didn't change our game plan too much. We had a couple key catches. Josh Jacobs, everybody was getting the ball. We moved down. We got down in a clutch situation. That Hunter Renfro touchdown catch was the play of the game. That's what won us the game. Hunter Renfro in that clutch. And I called it. I do it every time with my wife. She's like, how do you call these plays? And I'll see him every time. He's cutting out. I see him running towards the sideline. I'm going to say, Hunter Renfro inside. All of a sudden he makes a little move. You have Darren Waller clearing the way. He comes in. Low throw. Doesn't need to take a hit because he's already on the ground. Secures it for a touchdown. Right on the money. DC had this ball basically planting a yard into the end zone. So all Hunter had to do was get low, basically slide right on in. Easy money, absolute dime. That was almost 9 minute drive. It was 8 minutes and 50-something seconds. Nuts. Just completely controlling the clock, controlling the game, taking the lead in a low-scoring game, 13-6. That's exactly what I want to see out of this offense. We had one drive for the Browns, one drive for the Raiders in the third quarter. Absolutely great. I love it. Fourth quarter comes around. 3 and out, baby. Let's go, defense. Thank you, Paul Gunther, for calling some plays. Thank you, secondary, for making some plays. This is what we want. This is what we love. 3 and outs. That's amazing. All around great team play. I have no complaints. No complaints. So we get the ball back. Another long drive. Jacobs, Devontae Booker, Derek Carr, who I believe, I got to check the final stats, but I think was the second leading rusher of the Raiders team. Devontae Booker had some good carries, and to think that Derek Carr out-carried him, it's a pretty good play. There was a part of me that thought, hey, Derek can maybe be my lights-out player of the game, the way he's playing. He played good. He played really good. I'll give it to him. Not a game manager. He took things into his own hands, managed the pressure that was around him. He picked up stuff on his feet. I've also seen Derek play some better games, though. That's okay. I'm not saying he played bad. But with the conditions, the dude played great. Absolutely great. Shout out to the chat. Omar A. says, what do you say to cut Brown at end of the year? That's a good question. I'm going to get into this topic here pretty soon, Omar A., but I will give you a sneak preview. I think there could be a little surprise here with Trent Brown. I'm not going to say it's going to happen necessarily before the trade deadline, but I think this is kind of his last chance on his year. This is it, buddy. Get your stuff together, and this is your last chance. And right now for right tackle, even if he only plays 2 games out of the rest of the year, right? What do we have? 9 games left. Say he only plays 2 games of the 9 games of the regular season, not counting playoffs, right? So say he only plays 2 games of the 9 left. That's still better than playing none because our right tackle situation is very shaky. That's what I'm going to say. Shout out to Omar A. Appreciate that. So Cleveland gets the ball, right? So after that ridiculous touchdown throw. Cleveland gets the ball, and this is their chance. They need to go down the field. They need to score quickly, get the ball back, 2-possession game, right? 10 points. So they move down the field, and they do. They're moving down the field. I know they're going to put points on the board. Well, little they know we're not going to get points on the board. And a big part of that was one of the biggest, should I say, controversies or complaints. LaMarcus Joyner has been a hot topic. Dude comes in with a good pickup over the top. He's running underneath. He's like in like an underneath zone. He reads a throw over the top, makes the adjustment, bam, tips the ball. Great play. Another play or 2, whatever it was like right next to each other. He comes in and they make a lob throw over I think Nevin Lawson was covering Jarvis Landry. Nevin Lawson gets a little bobble in it. He gets his hand in that thing and gets that ball loose. And then LaMarcus Joyner comes in and, I love it. It had me off. I was off my seat, man. I was just like, let's go. Because that's what our defense is built around. Oh, man. Simon C. Raiders. Those are his words, not mine. Raiders. Tight game to the third. Then we flexed our run game muscles. Keep up the Raider content, bro. I like that. Simon SC. Shout out. Appreciate the donation. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, we did. And we came out, we flexed our muscles, man. We go down and we take a few run plays, get a first down or so, and keep the ball rolling, and felt good. Felt really good. That was a good ending to this game. Oh, man. That's amazing. Raider Nation, shout out. Wherever you guys are listening from or watching, whatever you're doing, drop it into the chat. Area code, town, city, county, state, country. Drop it in the chat. I want to know where you guys are listening from. I'm sitting here reading your comments, and this is where I'm going to gather some of my thoughts, too. You guys are inspiring me, so keep the comments flowing. Appreciate you guys joining us. This is great, man. I love the post-game win shows. You know, we've had a couple here where we're like, okay. You know, it gets a little iffy. But that Chiefs game was fun. This last week was a little rough, but I'm feeling good again. No doubts. So drop those locations in the chat. I want to know where you guys are watching from. So we're going to take this quick break provided by Blue Wire. And when we come back, I'll give you my lights out player of the game, baby. How about that? Oh, wrong one. So let's try this again. When we come back, I'll give you my lights out player of the game. All right. So I'm telling you that I had a few roller coasters here throughout this week. Just like seeing like Jonathan Abram making some high effort plays, seeing Nick Witkowski with an almost turnover, him getting his nose on the football, some hard hitting plays. DC, I felt like came in, balled out. Jason Witten kind of just come out of nowhere. This offensive line holding together was absolutely crazy. But this week was tough nonetheless. But my week 8 lights out player of the game. Let's get into it. And I'm going with none other than our guy, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, we knew needed a big game this week. Josh Jacobs came in huge. He came in absolutely huge. And I want you guys to drop in the chat right now who you think your lights out player of the game is. But for me, I think he stepped up. He had his first over 100-yard rushing game of the season, and we needed that from him. He came in, and that's what controlled the tempo. Those 2 long drives, that one that was almost 9 minutes, that's what won us the game. We didn't give the Browns a chance to heat up or go back down the field. They had what, 2 or 3 possessions in the second half? 3 possessions, I think, in the second half. Great. We played this thing absolutely phenomenal. And don't listen to the commentators. We're going to get into this more, but don't listen to the commentators when they said that Devontae Booker was the reason that Josh Jacobs was heating up. No, Josh Jacobs was heating up because he's Josh Jacobs, and he was himself. He was feeling himself. So I think Josh Jacobs came out, he showed out, and he was doing great. I mean, hey, Devontae Booker did great. Don't get me wrong. He came in, he was a great role player. But the workhorse and the guy that had over 100 yards rushing is going to be Josh Jacobs. You don't take that away from him. You don't take that away from JJ because he came in, and when he's on the field and it's a running play, the defense knows that the ball is going to be going to 28, and he still was able to without number 77, who we'll talk about eventually. Maybe we'll save that for real talk. We'll see what's going on there. But he still made things happen with Denzel Good. But no Richie Incognito, no Trent Brown. He went out there and he made things happen. Shout out to the chat. Simon SC again. What do you think of DC, the only quarterback to take a legit shot downfield? Yeah, man. He wasn't scared. Like I said, you can get on him all you want about being, I don't know, taking shots whenever it's windy. But at least he's taking shots. Shout out to Raider Reggie in the chat as well. Thanks for the donation. Crazy weather. Raiders got lucky that the Browns were dropping everything, but Jacobs is back. Hey, they had a couple drops, 2 or 3 drops, but so do we. Is what it is. It was a sloppy game all around, but we made the most of it. And we're back. So, Raider Nation. We had a lot of money on the sidelines this week. A lot of money, not just this week, but a lot. And it added up quite a bit. Obviously, we're going to get into Trent Brown a little bit more. I'm not going to get into the details and my thoughts on that right now. I'll save that. I'll save that for Ken and King. We'll save that for real talk. But Trent Brown being out, he has the biggest cap hit of this 2020 Raiders roster with $21.5 million. We had Marcus Mariota, who's still inactive, $9.1 million. Tyrell Williams, obviously out with injury, can't do too much, $11.1 million. Those 3 players alone combined $41.7 million on the sidelines. 3 players, that's a lot of money. That is 21% of our cap hit. Not able to play, not eligible. Maybe they called in sick. Yeah, I don't know. A little frustrating. It's a little frustrating. There's not a whole lot you can do, but there's a lot of money on the sidelines. There's a lot of money on the sidelines. A lot of people complain about Derek Carr's contract. Well, there's money for 2 Derek Carr contracts sitting on the sidelines. Derek Carr's looking like an absolute bargain because he's playing at an MVP level. Yeah, I'll keep saying that over and over again. So we're going to take this quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by, let's see. You know what? Let's just get into it. Let's call our guy, Kenny King Jr.
Kenny King, real talk.
Hey, coming in. Some real talk of Kenny King Jr. I love this beat, KK. What's going on, man?
Can I get a
Raiders? I love it. I love it, KK. Get me all fired up. How about that? How's a winning record 4-3 sound to you, brother?
Oh man, it sounds beautiful. It sounds beautiful, but what's even more beautiful is it was a cold game. We had rain, we had sleet, we had snow, we had wind. The Raiders pulled it out.
Yeah, man. That's the thing is another game-defying statement, or should I say a season-defying statement, right? We can't win at Arrowhead. We can't win in the cold. Well, guess what we've done this year with a winning record off our toughest stretch of games. You could say, from here on out, we have maybe the easiest stretch, but that was before this game where we're playing a 5-2 football team, playing a football team that was top 5 as a run defense. Josh Jacobs puts up over 100 yards. Devontae Booker is a great role player. Derek Carr scrambles for 40 plus yards or whatever it was. We made a statement, Kenny King.
Yeah, I said going into this game that, you're going to have to utilize the run. You're going to have to utilize the short passes. We saw a couple of those long passes get away from us, but I think that the Raiders played very smart. I think that, the short passes, utilizing Waller, utilizing Renfro, getting the ball to Jacobs early and often, and just continuing to pound the ball down their throats, it definitely worked. And I think that, he's been a great addition to this offense. I think that, I was a little bit iffy on him when he signed. I didn't know what we were going to get. And he has been pleasantly surprising every time he touches the ball. He had that one fumble early in the season. And since then, he has been very surprising. So I'm really happy with with the run game today.
Let's go. I got 2 topics for you, Kenny King, and they're burning topics. I would say, well, we're gonna ease into it. And the first thing that I want to talk about is these Fox commentators. We're used to watching this game on CBS. You know, we're
Right.
used to whatever's going on there at CBS, and for the most part, it's been cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I enjoy watching it. It is what it is. You get whatever is Trent Green or whatever. You know, yeah, okay, whatever. We got to deal with stuff like that. But these Fox commentators, is it Rich Spielman or whatever his name is? I cannot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like all the way done with it. I can't stand with it.
I mean, it's always funny when you listen to, you know, I mean, granted, Spielman was a linebacker. He played in the Professional Football League. He knows how the game is played, but it's always funny when you listen to somebody who never played that position talk about how to play that position. Talking about how to throw a precision pass in 40-mile-an-hour winds, because, you know, he's done that so many times in his career.
But it's not even just that, dude. Like, he's getting on. Here's the one play that, like, it kind of tapped me out when he had that, like, back shoulder to Foster Moreau, and it went off the fingertips. How come early in the game when Baker Mayfield had a wide open rollout with a wide open receiver and was probably 2 yards off the target, why don't you say anything then? At least keep it even, but there's just this clear bias there that I don't really understand. Fox needs to get a grip on it, because as Raider fans, I don't enjoy that whatsoever.
No, I don't enjoy it either. I'd much rather put on the radio and listen to the radio, you know, transmission of it. But, you know, I'm doing so much yelling during the game. I try not to listen to the commentators anyways, but you hear it every once in a while. You heard it last week with Schlereth. I mean, it's annoying. And that's the biggest thing, is it's like a gnat in your ear at a barbecue. It's just annoying, and it's frustrating to hear. And you don't really want to hear it. And, you know, you want to just tweet them the whole time and be like, hey, shut up. Like, I don't want to hear the constant slander, because it's just like, at least be even with it. You know, I think that's one of the things is, you know, at least when Rich Gannon does it, like, Rich Gannon will go at both sides. Like, if Derek Carr's having a bad game, he'll get on Carr, but he'll also get on the other quarterback, or he'll get on the other team. You know, it's an even slander. You know, the slander is incredibly lopsided.
So I'm saying, it's like it's an absolute bias. I don't really understand. Like I said, it's one of those things where you talk about all of our missed tackles, but then Josh Jacobs goes and breaks tackles. I mean, it's frustrating. You just see it. There's big impact plays for us. They don't really say much. Like, oh, yeah, you know, picked up the yards. Oh, big first down. Cool. And then, like, Baker Mayfield, like, makes some, like, play. When they scored 6 points the entire game, and they're talking about, like, he's, like, God. It's I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Kenny King, actually, it's funny that you mentioned, way off topic, he said you'd rather listen to the radio. Brett Musburger. I watched the other day, since I'm, like, a Disney Pixar freak now because of my kids. Shout out to my 3-year-old boy and almost 2-year-old girl. We watch Disney stuff all the time. We watched Disney Pixar's Airplanes the other night, and I learned that their, like, whatever, their show host or radio guy or whatever, when they do the airplane races, Brett Mustang Burger. It's him. Like, it's his actual voice too. It's actually crazy. It's actually nuts.
My favorite Musburger moment is still, I mean, besides the AJ McCarron.
I was gonna say, was it AJ McCarron?
But it's the Water Boy.
Welcome to Raider Nation. Oh, yeah.
It's the Water Boy. You know, when he's sitting there talking about, oh, you can't let it go now. It's like, yeah, okay, Brent, we get it. But no, I mean, the AJ McCarron thing is still hilarious, and I still find it funny that AJ blocked me because of me welcoming his wife to Raider Nation. But hey, whatever.
I mean, hey, welcome. You know,
what's AJ doing nowadays?
Open arms. Playing Call of Duty, right? Isn't that what he tells Derek that he's doing on, like, Thanksgiving and stuff? Christmas?
I don't know. I'm blocked.
Oh. Oh, man. That's one of the few X-Raiders to be okay with being blocked from. Shout out to Antonio Brown. Thanks for blocking me on everything, too. Hi, David Christensen. He says hi. I'll say hi back. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys joining us. Kenny King Jr., this is the last burning topic I want to talk about, and I think you already know what it's going to be. And it's something that's really frustrating and something that started our morning off sour. And it's something that doesn't define what it means to be a Raider. And it's someone that's really testing my patience. And it's a player that, while on the active roster, this has probably been one of the first times that I've ever been really frustrated with somebody and ever advocated or been okay with a possible move in the future, and that is right tackle Trent Brown. What do you have to say about number 77, Kenny King?
Here's the issue, because it's frustrating. It's frustrating because he's such a good player and he's such a dominant player when he's on the field. When Trent Brown is on the field, you can't get past him. You can't do anything with him.
He's great.
He regulates on that right side.
Yeah.
He makes the offense that much better. We saw it in the Kansas City game. The issue at hand is the fact that, and I talk about this all the time, your best ability is availability.
Yeah.
And, he's played, I think it's a total of 9 games in the past 2 seasons. He's getting paid more money than, almost as much money as we could have paid Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
And we could have gotten a lot more output for it. And he's a guy that just, I don't know what it is, and I don't want to speculate, but it seems like he just doesn't want to be here. It seems like he doesn't want to be a part of this team. It seems like he's just kind of going through the motions. And I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that, that I'm seeing something differently, but that's kind of where I'm at with it, where it's like, it doesn't feel like he truly wants to play. I feel like, we saw this when Kelechi Osemele was here, Gruden's first year, and the little nagging injuries, and obviously we don't know the extent of the injuries. And I mean, to be quite frank with you, at 380 pounds, a calf injury is going to be a lot more painful than somebody at 170 pounds.
Yeah.
And so that's a big factor right there. I know that when my knee hurts, it's going to hurt more than when your knee hurts because I'm putting more weight on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. But I think the other thing is all the other BS things that come around it, taking off the tracer, getting COVID during the bye week. Like you can't control getting COVID. Obviously, it's crazy, this virus, and on how it's attacking people and how you can get it by going to the grocery store. So I'm not saying that it's his fault for getting COVID. I'm just saying taking off the tracer, make the offensive line having to miss a whole week of practice last week. Those things, those situations, those scenarios, putting yourself in positions to where what the hell is going on. And then this week, right before the game, oh, you're a scratch because you have an illness. What's the illness? Everything was fine. What's going on now?
And not even just like he wasn't scratched because he had it. This is the weird part, is he wasn't scratched because necessarily that he had an illness, right? Like they didn't really like rule it. Like it didn't sound like that. Well, the frustrating part to me is I get it. Getting COVID, you can't control that, but you can control that when you follow the guidelines and you stay at home and you quarantine yourself. And the only people that you're really supposed to be around are your maybe immediate household family and the people in the building, at the headquarters or at the football games, and nobody else gets it but you. Obviously, you weren't following protocol. Okay, yeah, we don't have video evidence, whatever. Okay, I get it. He gets that. He misses a game. Not a big deal. That's one game that we can maybe give an excuse for that he missed. But how do you excuse the others? Okay, yeah, the calf injuries, that was ruled a calf injury, then it ended up being both calves because he was out of shape, because he wasn't game ready, like because he was, I mean, yeah, he's a big boy. I mean, what did you say, like 380? I think he's probably more than that now. He looks a lot more than that if you go look at pictures. So is he just out of shape? Is that what he's dealing with? And I get it, dude. We'll try and get through this and hopefully get him on the football field because I want him more than not. Well, actually, let's ask the chat room. I want to know, is this a part or a point with the Trent Brown situation? Do you want trade or cut, or do you want to keep him? Trade, obviously. I mean, cut's not really an option. Trade or keep. What do you guys want in the chat? I mean, I'm on the fence with both. I've never been in a position. I want the best for our football players. While he's a Raider, I want him to go out there and I want him to produce. But in the same breath, to come into this game, and like I said, it's not that he was really ruled out with an illness. He was ruled out because he was feeling ill. And they said 15 minutes before they ruled him out, they were hopeful that he was going to play. Did he just not want to play? What? There's no answer to this, Kenny King. I just don't understand. He basically called in sick to his game. Is that it? I mean, hopefully, I want more answers. I want the details. The truth is always somewhere in the middle. But right now, I don't even know even close to where the middle is. It just looks really bad.
I think that's the biggest thing right now is we want to know what the truth is. 15 minutes before the game, if you're ready to go, the team's expecting you to go, what happened?
Yeah.
What's going on? because, last night I see him tweeting, I see him on Instagram, I see everything, seems fine. And obviously you can tweet when you're sick and everything like that, but it's optics, right? And I know that people don't want to hear that, but it's optics.
Yeah.
When things are going on, when you don't show up for work, it's like when I don't show up for work, if I call in sick to work, I'm not going to sit there and post on Instagram because people are going to be like, well,
yes.
I thought you were sick. Like, you're not going to be posting all
yes,
day.
thank you.
That's just my thought process, right? That's my thought process.
Normal person thought process, yes.
Right. As an employee of an organization, doesn't matter if you're a Bay Area banker like myself or if you're a right tackle in the National Football League. It's all about optics. And if you're not showing up for work, and if you're, posting and you're, actively working on social media, and then 15 minutes before you're supposed to show up for your shift, you don't show up, eyebrows are going to get raised.
Yeah.
If I don't show up for my shift and I'm posting on Twitter and I'm posting on social media and my coworkers see that, then they're like, well, what the hell's Kenny doing? Like,
yeah.
I thought he was sick. I thought he couldn't show up. So those are always the questions that get raised. Those are always the questions you say, well, what's going on? And the fact that there's been so many cryptic tweets and
the cryptic
song
tweets.
lyrics and
don't get on Twitter and tweet about things.
Right. All these things. All these things kind of come together in a culmination, and you get that frustration that builds within the fan base because we're a very passionate fan base. And when you're paying somebody that much money and they don't show up, you get frustrated. I'm going to tell you right now, if this was Derek Carr and Derek Carr was doing this, everybody would be calling for his freaking head. I mean, people call for his head anyways. People call for his head anyways. He fumbles after he already hits the ground. People are saying, oh, Derek Carr needs to be cut. He's trash. If Derek Carr had missed this many games with a $125 million contract, people would be calling for his head. Even me, and I'm a big Carr supporter.
Yeah,
I'd be like, what the hell is this?
Agreed. And that's why we love him so much, is because we know he wouldn't. And that's what, even like when you're talking about like the tweeting stuff and the just doing it, it's not even just like it looks bad. This is the part where I say, I think I said it earlier, that he's just not, there's something that is missing that doesn't make him like that Raider, right? And I think that's the thing is any other player, if Derek Carr couldn't play the game, if Josh Jacobs couldn't play the game, if Jonathan Abram couldn't play the game, if Nick Kwiatkowski couldn't play the game, they wouldn't be tweeting because they felt like it would look bad. They wouldn't be tweeting. They wouldn't be talking to the public because it would literally hurt their heart that they couldn't be on the football field. They would legit
Josh cried.
Yes, on the sideline to Mike Mayock. Yes.
Because he couldn't play.
Dude, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is the reaction is just different. 77 can't get on the football field, and there's no reaction to it. It's a poor me. It's a blame them. It's a make me look bad. The greatest underdog. You're not the greatest underdog right now. Like, you're honestly, like, you're your own underdog. Like, you just don't even, like, have your own, I don't know, you don't have your own drive. There's no underdog mentality of what's going on right now. It's just kind of a poor me, and everyone else needs to do something. And that's, I don't want to talk about this the rest of the time. Kenny King, for the rest of Real Talk, I want to understand, flipping the script, we're going to completely flip-flop the disc. And I want to know, man, about this Raiders football team in a must-win situation. Yeah, we were shaky off the break, off the bye week, and we had some injuries. Our offensive line was out the whole week. We get our offensive line back. Josh Jacobs has his first 100-yard-plus rushing game in forever, and we're looking good. Derek Carr was able to dish it out as much as he possibly could, and I felt like we really played well. Kenny King, what's the outlook right now for this Las Vegas Raiders football team?
Well, look, the Raiders have shown that they can win. The Raiders have shown that they can win on the road. The Raiders have shown that they can win in the cold. The Raiders have shown that they can beat these teams that they need to beat. This is a playoff caliber team, and the Raiders need to go in there, and they need to continue to do this, continue to beat these teams. But what I expect to see is this is a team that's going to continue to fight. This is a team that has a tremendous amount of poise. This is a team that's going to bounce back. They got smacked in the mouth. They got kicked around in their own home. The Raiders are going to be able to control their destiny at this point. Go in and beat the LA Chargers in our second home. Come back and beat the Broncos at home. And then we got a big test against the Chiefs. We talked a lot as Raider fans, and the Raider obviously the Chiefs Kingdom is going to get pissed off. They want to come back and they want to beat us in our own home. This is going to be a big test for the Raiders, and it could be the deciding factor in the AFC West. So I'm excited to see what this team's going to do. I think this team pulled through a lot. Big props to Brandon Parker. Brandon Parker showed up huge when Sam Young was getting moved all around the field. Fulton Miller still putting it down. I want to see more push from the defensive line. I still want to see some more up the middle. But the defensive backs, they played a tremendous game. I think this defense is going to continue to get better. John Gruden needs to stay on Paul Gunther. All gas, no brakes. Raider Nation, let's get it.
I love it. Kenny King, I want to address one thing in the chat that was brought up, and this was a donation. Quinn the Eskimo, I appreciate the donation. But Quinn says, you guys are dead wrong. My dad FaceTimed the day COVID killed him last Sunday. It hits your respiratory system. Trent wasn't ready to go. First of all, Quinn, prayers out to you and your family. That's something I never want to read in the comments section. So I don't even understand what you're going through. The only difference with this situation is for Trent, he was asymptomatic and he practiced this week. I'm not putting COVID, like I said, I mean, the COVID thing, I understand. You get COVID and you got to deal with the symptoms and the whatever the process it is. For me, the COVID thing is just more his irresponsibility, right? Wearing his tracker. And Quinn, I think you'd agree too. As serious as something as COVID can be, you're going to abide by the protocols to make sure that you're staying safe and keeping everyone around you safe and abiding by the protocols that you're paid to do, especially as the highest paid player on the roster. But like I said, Quinn, man, shout out and honestly prayers up. Lord Jesus, man, be with this man's family. And like I said, I'm sorry to read that, bro. I'm sorry to read that.
Yeah, Quinn, my prayers to you and your family. Obviously, losing a parent is you never want to have that conversation. Like we said, we're not talking about COVID. We're not talking about Trent having the COVID situation. We're talking about everything leading up to it. And I think the COVID is just kind of the icing on the cake for that. And so, it's not talking about, him having it. It's not talking about that. I'm talking about basically everything that led up to it and basically the culmination of everything that Trent's doing. But Quinn, my prayers to you and your family, man. I hate to see that. Yeah,
100%. Kenny King, man, I appreciate you joining me, bro. It's been a little bit of a long week. Just coming off like a bad loss after a bye week and all the crazy stuff stirring up. But Kenny King, what's man, how you feeling, bro? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I gotta get on and record my podcast next.
Kenny King, real talk.
Oh, hey.
I hit the bell on accident.
There we go.
I'm not very good with this, but
this guy's trying to give me the wrap it up music already. No, I'm gonna talk for a second.
No,
I'm gonna record my podcast.
It was a little drop so that they could get like the here, drop it right.
Kenny King, real talk.
Right there. Where do you exactly.
listen? No bell, no wrap up music. Not done yet. Don't silence me. This guy.
Raiders.
Well, on to the next one, I guess.
I don't have that one set up right now, but yeah. So where do you listen? Where are we listening to your post game show?
You can listen anywhere podcasts are found.
Yeah.
Training Table Podcast. It's on, part of the Blue Wire Network. Shout out Blue Wire. I'll probably be dropping it tomorrow morning. Just give you guys something to commute to. Those that are still commuting to work, those that aren't commuting to work, you can listen to it while you're sitting at your house watching your kids run around the living room. But yeah, man, what I'm looking forward to this week is the Raiders getting healthy. Hopefully Trent gets healthy this week, and if not, hopefully the Raiders make some moves. Obviously the Raiders could use some help in the secondary still. The Raiders should use some significant help at defensive tackle. There's some players out there. There's some teams that are having fire sales. So I'd like to see if the Raiders are going to be active by the trade deadline. I'd like to see the Raiders do something and figure out what's going to happen with Trent. But that being said, we have a big week. It's Charger week. And we're going to go into our second home in Los Angeles, where we are still the Kings of Los Angeles, the only team to win a Super Bowl as an LA team. Let's go beat the Chargers.
Let's go. Kenny King, brother. Thanks for joining us, man. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for having me.
You guys see the number on the screen. This is your time to voice your opinion. Raider Nation, it's time for you guys to sound off. Being brought to you by the Stage Door Casino Hotline. Make sure if you guys weren't there today, make sure the next time you guys are in Vegas or if you're planning a trip to Vegas, you visit Stage Door Casino because, look, I hear some people, they say, oh, there's nothing special about Stage Door Casino. Oh, well, you know, why does he keep hyping it up? There ain't nothing special about Stage Door Casino. What, you think I'm going to go pump up the, like, ritziest place in Las Vegas? You guys want me to go out and search and try and find the, like, craziest looking sports bar? Because I'm not looking for a sports bar. I'm looking for a Raider bar. I'm looking for a place where Raider Nation's authentic, and I'm looking for a place to send you guys where it's going to be 100% Raider Nation on game day, and that is Stage Door Casino. So if you guys want to hang out like it's a Raider game and you want the next best experience, ain't nothing that you guys say that's going to change my opinion, because Stage Door Casino is the spot to be, and that's why we do all of our stuff. So call that number. Get involved. Telling you, yeah, hit that like button. Shout out to Greg in the chat. Greg Lira, get the likes up. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Tell your friends, come hang out. I love it. These commentators, man, I can't quite do it with them. I can't quite do it with them anymore. I hope we go back to CBS next week because that's where I want to be personally. I cannot stand Fox. I don't know what it is about Fox. Is it Fox? Is it just is it their bias? Is it the commentators? Because we had two different pairs this last week and nothing changed. So I don't really know what to think. It's definitely frustrating though. Definitely frustrating. Call that number on the screen. Voice your opinions. I'll be taking calls here in just a second. There's going to be a lot of you guys coming through. See if we can pop this up. Still not going to work. All right. So let's take this first caller in here. Caller, man, state your name. Where are you calling from? What's going on?
It's Rev Mike from Boise.
Rev Mike, what is going on, brother? How you feeling, man? We're 4-3.
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. You know what?
Got some background noise. I like it.
Yeah, I was actually your first caller last week, but it didn't go through. So I was in Vegas. Shoot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So plan on the trip to Vegas for the KC game, hopefully. So
there we go. There. Yeah, I was gonna say that's our trip right there. We're planning November 22nd when the Kansas City Chiefs. That's in 3 weeks. We'll be there for when the Kansas City Chiefs come play the Raiders at home. Yeah, man, we'll be there. Well, Pigeons AJ in the chat. He lives in Boise as well. So shout out to Boise right now, man. We got some Idaho people here.
All right, yeah. Well, hey, like Dustin says, right? On to the next one, right?
On to the next one, I guess. Let's go. We're going back. We got 3 home games right now, Rev Mike. We got 3 home games coming up. 2 of them in Las Vegas and 1 in our second home, LA. How are you feeling, man? Can we go on a little streak? Can we come in hot against Kansas City again? What's going on?
Absolutely. I think so. I think we can do it. I mean, at home, anything can happen. I think they're beatable. They're good. They're really good, but I think we can beat them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Rev Mike, I appreciate you calling in, man. And I'm sure, we'll talk again next week.
All right. Yeah, hopefully.
See ya.
See ya.
Oh, just missed that string of callers. I'll get like a long list of calls. And if I don't get any of them, they all hang up at the same time. So apologize. Keep trying to call in. But I will say, man, it's been a long time since we've been in LA, it feels like. Last year was a great game for us. Derek Carr coming out, that big end zone run in the corner, getting that win. So I'm looking forward to seeing that again. I'm looking forward to the LA, man. It's amazing for us. LA does some great things for the Raiders. And still the only, just like Kenny King said, the only football team to hold a championship in Los Angeles. So that's some good stuff right there, man. 4-3 Las Vegas Raiders. My Skype here is glitching out, so I'm hoping. Let me restart it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this call. I've got callers here, and I can't even hardly answer them. 1 second here. See if we can pick this one up. There we go. So, second caller of the day. State your name, man. Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going? This is Mitchell from Fresno, California. How you doing, Cody?
Fresno, let's go. Shout out to Fresno 559. Mitch, I think I've talked to you once here before, right?
You know, this is actually my first time calling.
But, okay, maybe another
yes,
Mitch
sir.
I talked to. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. I just I'm feeling super happy about that win. That was honestly a huge game for the Raiders because you know, we were going to be fighting Cleveland for that wild card spot, assuming we don't win the division. So I'm just super excited. Like a cold weather game for Derek Carr, that's huge for his confidence, huge for the team's confidence. And man, we got LA coming up, home game. I couldn't be more excited.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's cool to have like a little 3-game home streak. You know, the LA, the second home, I guess. It's hard to say, you know, because we obviously won't have the home field advantage that we're used to with no fans there, but it's still LA and it still feels like home. And I'll still, you know, give a huge shout out to LA because they're still my biggest like listenership of any other region. It's LA. So this is really cool, man. What do you see in store for us? We got 3 division rivals in a row coming up our next 3 games. Are we able to pull off the hat trick, man? We got to be rolling hot going to KC and get another win. How do you feel?
100% agree. It has to be a hat trick. This game against LA, it's going to be a very tough game because their defense are going to give us like a lot of problems. I think, but if we can just shut down Herbert. Herbert's a rookie. They need to hit him, and when Herbert goes down, he has to go down hard. Yeah. And the next week, we got Locke. We can beat him. I know we can. The Broncos defense is nasty too, but I know we can get it done. And then against the Chiefs home game Sunday Night Football, that's going to be a hell of a game. I mean, we proved we can do it though. Yeah. This is huge for the team's confidence. So 3 tough divisional matchups, but man, I know the Raiders can do it. They're just going to have to. The only way they'll lose is if they beat themselves. Honestly, because this team is good.
Exactly. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Mitch, I appreciate you calling in, man. Maybe we'll hear from you again soon.
Absolutely. I'll call again. Thank you. Shout out to my friend, Wes Anderson.
Hey, Wes Anderson. Let's go. Shout out, man. Thanks, Pat.
All right. Later.
All right. And I guess I'll make this. My Skype is going wild, so I'm not really going to be able to take any more callers after this, or if I even can. I don't know. It's being all weird on me. So the third and final caller, state your name, man. Where are you calling from?
I am the Raider Critique calling from Central Texas.
The Raider Critique, man. I've talked to you once before on Hardcore Raiders Show, man. What is going on?
Yes, sir, you have, man. How you doing? I'm feeling absolutely wonderful after this win.
You should, as you should, because this was a must-win football game. 4-3 feels a heck of a lot better than 3-4, and then going into 2 games that, I mean, really, it's 2 teams that we don't like whatsoever. Playing the Browns is whatever. You know, you play the Browns, you're like, okay, look, Cleveland, you guys are kind of like us. I feel for you. It's kind of like, let's shoot it out. Weather's crazy. Let's do some good old-fashioned football. But now we're going to L.A., and then Denver's going to be coming to us. Those are 2 teams we got to put a whipping on, and we got to get hot for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, Raider Critique, man, how are you feeling, man? How's you know what? I know your opinion. I want to know, how's Derek Carr playing this year?
Man, Derek Carr is playing lights out, dude. I just want to go ahead and break it out. No, I was not paid to say this, but Carr haters, how do you feel now?
How do you feel?
How do y'all feel now? The dude can throw the ball deep. He's pinpointing the ball with every throw that he's doing, and it's exactly where it needs to be. Yeah. Derek Carr is playing an MVP caliber season right now, 100%. Barring a few games here and there. But I'll be honest with you, man, this is the quarterback that I expected to see ever since we drafted him.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you don't love Derek Carr, then obviously you don't remember Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
And you don't remember Andrew Walter. You don't remember Dante Culpepper. Come on. I mean, the list goes on and on, buddy. We already know that, if you've been a Raider fan for as long as we have been Raider fans, which I've been sitting here since about 86, we kind of know what we're getting with Derek Carr. And, I'm sorry for all the Carr haters who really wanted Tua Tagovailoa or whatever the hell his name was to come
My
in
condolences,
and quarterback for us, but
yeah.
It is what it is, dude. And I really want to give a shout out to you, bro, because I haven't been able to really talk to you lately. Good job on the show. Good job on the podcast, man. You're doing an excellent job. And thanks for staying solid with us, man. I mean, really.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. We're just having a good time, Raider Critique. You know that. We just like to get together as Raiders fans, as content creators, and I'm glad, man. You do a lot of different shows. I'm glad you decided to call in and chit-chat a little bit after a big win. It feels good, man. I mean, Victory Monday tomorrow's going to be pretty sweet and something that we haven't felt. I mean, it's been a while. It's been about 3 weeks since we've celebrated something like this through the bye week, through the loss last week, so it feels good. A little breath of fresh air, a little relief, man, so I appreciate you calling in.
Hey, I appreciate you letting me get on here with you, man. And if there's the only thing I've really got to critique besides the defense is that you need to put your podcast on Spotify a little bit faster, man, so I have something to listen to while I'm working.
I can work on that. I usually post-produce a little late, but I'll try and up it up for you, Critique. I'll try and get it on Spotify faster.
Hey, man, take care of yourself, bro, and represent.
Yeah, Raider Nation, let's go.
Raider Nation, baby, let's go.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. So appreciate you guys joining me for this show. Hopefully next week, I'm getting calls, but I don't know. My Skype is all jacked up, so hopefully next week we're a little ironed out. But a shout out to the Blue Wire Podcasting Network. And I want to give, let's see here. Let's see if I can pull this up here. Yeah, I'm all jacked up here. Everything's all out of whack. I do want to say one last message. If you're watching now, get in on the action, because with everything that's going on, with the Raiders winning some football games, you guys should be winning too. So that's where you guys need to go visit mybookie.ag now, because this deal is going to be ending soon. It's going to be ending anytime. So if you join mybookie.ag, create a profile using promo code RaiderCody, it can double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. You can put up $1,000 into mybookie.ag to go bet with, and they will double that deposit and give you $2,000 to go bet with. That's absolutely nuts. So get in. Join the prop. I mean, you can bet on all kinds of stat lines, everything. You can hit on just all Raider games. They're going in and playing the Chargers next week. Go place a bet, man. MyBookie.ag. They're legit. They got some good odds. And the payouts are great, honestly. So get in there, get on the action, do your thing. Especially if you've never used MyBookie. That first deposit, doubling it, amazing. Promo code again, Raider Cody. So, Raider Nation, appreciate you guys joining me for this post game. Feeling 4-3, feeling good too. Hope you guys enjoy your Victory Monday if you're listening to the Post Produced podcast. And from here on out, I don't know what I'm saying. See you guys. Peace.